Let's talk about something that's often misunderstood and almost always misrepresented. You've probably heard the word Sharia tossed around on the news or in political debates. Maybe it made you uneasy. That reaction? Pretty common and understandable. The word carries a lot of baggage, most of it placed there by people who don't practice it or understand it. To some, Sharia is the ultimate threat to democracy, a sinister legal code creeping into our backyards. Mention Sharia law and panic sets in. Protests follow, fear takes over. But let's take a step back. What if I told you that Sharia law isn't what you think it is? Yes, it's often portrayed as dangerous, but behind the noise is something far more thoughtful, a system built to guide people towards fairness, responsibility, and moral clarity. Let's start with the basics. Sharia is an Arabic word that means the way. More poetically, it means the path to water. In the desert, water means life, and that's what Sharia is meant to be for Muslims, a source of moral and spiritual life. Sharia isn't an old rule book tucked into someone's drawer. It's not a fixed draconian set of rules. Instead, think of it as a living tradition built over centuries, made up of values, interpretation, and legal thought, rooted in the Quran and the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Sharia is basically a guide for how to live well, how to pray, how to fast, how to treat people, how to run a business honestly, how to solve problems fairly. It's not about courtroom drama or criminal law for most Muslims. It's about everyday decisions, living honestly, acting fairly, and doing what's right when no one's watching. Not every part of Sharia is meant to be enforced by law. Many aspects are personal and ethics, virtues to strive for, not legal rules to impose. Let's address the elephant in the room. The word Sharia gets thrown around a lot, but mostly in the worst way possible. When people think Sharia, they often think of brutal punishments, things like stonings, hand cuttings, harsh rules about women. But here's what you don't hear. Those harsh punishments, they're rare. The legal conditions are so strict, they're almost never applied. Second, they make up only a tiny fraction of what could be considered Sharia. Third, many of these punishments have been misinterpreted or stripped of their historical and scholarly context. Fourth, most Muslim-majority countries don't use them. Islamic law has always had room to evolve. Scholars debated, interpreted, and considered the context and social impact of legal rulings. Sharia has always been about balancing justice with mercy. It was never meant to be rigid or weaponized. And Sharia isn't a one-size-fits-all. There are multiple schools of thought. Each has its own approach to interpretation and application. So there's no single Sharia code. Rather, it's a wide-ranging tradition shaped by dialogue, culture, and scholarly judgment. So how did a centuries-old ethical tradition get turned into a modern-day scare story? Part of it goes back to colonialism, when Islamic law was cast as backward to justify domination. Part of it is political. Sharia makes a great scare word during elections. And let's be honest, fear sells. Outrage drives clicks. People gravitate towards headlines that are sensational. It is true that some individuals and groups have twisted Sharia into a tool of control, but they don't speak for nearly 2 billion Muslims around the world who live by it quietly, ethically, and without drama. In practice, Sharia is deeply woven into the fabric of everyday life for many Muslims. It shapes how Muslims resolve disputes, run businesses, write wills, give to charity. Following the Sharia means paying workers on time, protecting the vulnerable, and settling family matters with fairness. Sharia is not unique in this role. Just like Jewish communities consult halakhic law for guidance on matters of faith, family, and ethics, Muslims turn to Sharia to navigate similar areas of life. All over the world, in places like Indonesia, Somalia, Egypt, or even Canada, Muslims consult scholars, not for punishments, but for guidance. They're asking questions like, can I do this business deal? How should I divide my inheritance? What's the ethical way forward? So to summarize, for years, Sharia has been trapped in shallow stereotypes. What's often missed is its complexity, a living tradition that's been debated, reinterpreted, and reshaped over time and across generations to reflect both principle and context. So how about instead of asking whether Sharia fits into a particular box, we ask better questions. Questions like, what does it look like to live a just life? How do different communities arrive at fairness? And what can we learn from each other? You don't have to follow Sharia to take these questions seriously. But if we're going to talk about it, let's at least make the conversation real. I'm Safiyyah Ally for Let the Quran Speak. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Muslim Media Hub, the new home of Let the Quran Speak.
Here we spread positivity and good. We help people experience the beauty of Islam and help them appreciate and understand Muslims.
This beautiful building we purchased at cost $2.3 million.
Yeah, we've already raised a third of that money, and with your help, inshallah, we can pay off the rest.
So we're looking for people who can give $1,000 each. If you can be part of the select group, that's amazing.
Otherwise, just please give whatever you can. Every dollar counts.
It's our collective responsibility to share the message of Islam with our fellow human beings. Please help us continue this good work.
It's a sadaqah jariyah, something that will continue to be a benefit to the Muslim community long after Safiyyah and I are gone.
Please support our work at muslimmediahub.com.
Your support is zakat eligible and tax deductible.
May Allah bless you and your loved ones today and always. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.